Hello, beautiful people. This is Elise of Sister Queens coming to you from the Cosmic Chambers. These swim stroke videos are inspired by my friend Ray, who wrote me a paper. He wrote a paper and he sent it to me, and it was all about his swimming journey. And in that paper, he begins to explain how he learned how to swim and all of the strokes that he learned along the way. And after reading it, I was thinking, yeah, I really do a lot of different swim strokes and I'm making new ones up all the time. And as I'm doing the swim strokes, I realize that they also have certain effects and practical applications in the regular, walking on land world. So I wanted to share with you today what I did this morning. And I will share it in two parts. The two, which is me standing at the beginning of the lane and going to the end. And then fro is from the last part of the lane and then going back to where I started from, completing one lap. So the two, I did something I will call whale trilogy. And whale trilogy is the name because the stroke itself, the movement through the water, is broken up into three parts. The first part, I'm standing at the beginning of the lane and I dive face forward into the water with my fingertips facing the bottom of the pool. And once I get to the bottom, I keep my breath retained, but ever so slightly, I let the breath come out so that there's a bubble in front of my face, an air bubble. So that's part two, is the bubble retention, because that bubble is held. And that's when part three happens, which I call ascension float. And that's when my body, I just allow myself to completely relax. And I do one stroke with my arms from the fingertips moving, they're already forward in the water, and they just move to my sides of my body so that my hands are then touching the sides of my hips. And I'm realizing as I'm telling you this, when I was describing it in my head while I was in the water, it was a lot easier, and it's more difficult to describe it now that I'm not doing it. So if that was a little bit confusing, I agree with you. That sounded confusing to me as well. So maybe I'll try one more time to describe it. It's a three-part stroke. I'm standing in the water and I dive with my fingertips forward towards the bottom of the pool for part one, and that's the whale dive. Once I get there, my fingertips part and I do one stroke with my arms straight until they go to the sides of my body. And that's when part two comes, is that I retain my breath, but I let it out a tiny bit so that there's a bubble that fills right in front of my face. And I hold it like that as I, part three, ascend from the bottom of the pool with my hands at my hips. And I just let my body ascend. I don't make any effort with my legs, my feet, my arms, nothing. Just completely soft and relaxed. So that's the completion of the stroke. And then I do that again and again through the pool. So it's actually a weaving. So I'm standing and I dive to the bottom. At this point, my arms come out. They go to my side. I allow the bubble to form in front of my face. And then I let my body just gently come to the surface until my face breaches, and then I go again. So the movement is like this through the water. And I find that it's a really nice dynamic motion because you have the first part of the motion, which is moving and making the effort to get to the bottom of the pool. And then the second is that holding that bubble in front. It's almost like it feels very nurturing and very nourishing to have this access to air bubble right in front of my face. And also it's a wonderful way, it's a pranayama because I am maintaining a certain pressure of breath right in front of my face. And then as the third part is complete surrender, and relaxation and softening and allowing my body to float to the top. So that's two. And then on fro, I did what I explained yesterday, which was butterfly on a bicycle, which is just such a funny image. But I get to the end. I then put my feet on the side of the pool. I push off, and then I bicycle my legs in a rotation, pointing my toes and getting extreme, as much flexion and extension and as much extension of my legs and my knees as possible. So I'm bicycling my legs, and at the same time, I'm keeping my arms underwater and I'm making like butterfly wing motions. So extending my arms over my head completely, and then with my arms straight, pushing the water away with my arms straight until it gets to the sides. My hands are at my thighs again, and then I'm gently moving my hands up my body with my elbows bent until they're straight over my head, and then moving the water again with arms straight away so that I'm propelling backwards. And that's the fro part. And I really enjoyed this combination today, and I hope you might enjoy it as well.